Hello everyone. Today's topic is on a condition called traumatic eardrum perforation. So first we'll go through the causes. The commonest cause of eardrum perforation is assault, followed by foreign body removal. Even forceful removal of a ear wax can result in eardrum perforation. And the last cause being blast. There are several other causes of eardrum perforation. I have just mentioned a few of them. The other causes being like deep sea diving, flying in unpressurized flights, and these are the other common causes. Now, let us go through the common complaints of the patient. The most common complaint in case of eardrum perforation will be ear pain, followed by a hearing loss, and some patients may complain of bloodstained ear discharge and complain of even dizziness is not uncommon. And some of the patients, they may say there is some ringing sound in the ear also. Even that is not uncommon. So these are the common complaints. Now, at this stage, when you come to us, we'll put in a small camera into the ear that is called the autotelescope, and we will show you the eardrum perforation, how big it is and how much damage has been brought. Now, if you ask me at this stage, what are the investigations we are going to do? 90 to 95% of the patient age, we don't need any investigation except for a hearing test. But in case the patient has got dizziness for a long time, say for a day or two, and he is not able to walk normally because of that, or he has got a hearing loss which is very severe. Even in these two conditions, we need to do a CT scan to rule out that how much further damage has been produced in the middle ear. That is all. Otherwise, in 90-95% of the patient, just a hearing test alone is more than enough. Now, coming to the treatment, we'll give you a course of antibiotics and painkiller, analgesics. At the same time, we will do a suction cleaning of the ear so that we can have a good look of the perforation. So suction cleaning of the ear is also important, and we'll advise you not to put any ear drops unless it is advised by a doctor, to avoid any types of ear drops. Now, few take home advice will be, whenever you have a head shower, please do not forget to put a cotton followed by Vaseline applied over it, and after you finish your head shower, after cleaning and everything, you can remove the cotton. Please try to avoid forceful blowing of the nose. And whenever you feel like sneezing, please open your mouth and sneeze so that much of pressure is not transmitted to the ear. That is the third one. Now, after the first visit, your second visit will be after 1 month. During the second visit, we'll recheck your ear, and if necessary, we'll do a hearing test also. Majority of the patients, in 90-95% of the patients, by 4 to 6 weeks, 1 month to 1.5 months, the perforation or the hole closes by itself. But in some patients, it may not. So you may have to visit her once again. That will be after 2 months again. The total of 3 months from the time of incident. So even after 3 months, if the perforation has not closed, then the only option left is surgery. So the waiting period for surgery, if any, is 3 months. But I tell you, most of the patients, it closes by itself. Now, the take-home message, which is very important. Before that, I want to tell you that when you do surgery, why do we do surgery? Because the perforation is not closed. So what are the causes that it is not closed? Simple 2 reasons I can tell you. One is the perforation is very big enough, so it doesn't close. And second is, the patient gets repeated ear infection. Even that can prevent the eardrum from closing by itself. Now, coming to the advice or the take-home message, the last 3 slides is very important. Please go through that. This one I have already mentioned, use of cotton plug and Vaseline during head shower. Do not insert any objects into the ear under the pretext of cleaning the ear, like keychain or earbuds or hairpin, or do not insert any objects into the ear. Do not use any sort of ear drops unless the doctor has advised you. Otherwise, please do not use any ear drops. If you have pain at night, you can apply warm foundation. And if it is not relieved by that, you can take 1 or 2 tablet paracetamol at night if necessary. Avoid blowing the nose forcefully. If at all you have too much of sneezing, you sneeze with the open mouth. And I have already showed you the causes, and one of the causes I have said is earwax removal. And to prevent that, whenever you have a earwax which is impacted, and if the ENT doctor tells you to de-wax it by applying ear drops, please do that. Apply 3 drops 3 times daily for 3 days so that the wax becomes soft and is very easy to remove. It takes hardly 1 or 2 minutes to remove it, and even the complication rate is going to be very less. Now, children, you have to keep on advising them not to put anything in the ear, and please tell them if at all, if it happens like that, the doctor will do such and such thing. So you have to prevent any foreign body going into the ear. So prevention is better than cure. Avoid activities that expose your ears to exposure. That is also important. And if it is work related and you have too much of sound, you have to take care of the ear by using a headphone and number of working hours and so. So even that has to be taken care of. So in this video, we have seen traumatic ear perforation, what are the common causes, what are the common complaints, what do you look for, and the precautions and the take-home message. Thank you.